Hello, my name is Shitiz and this is my video blog. What is that one thing that you have been striving to get? What is that one thing that you feel that can change your life? I think the unanimous answer for that question would be success and money. Now, success can easily be obtained now because of YouTube and social media network, and maybe it's not that success, but it's a pseudo sense of success that we get on social media that is easy to attain, which a lot of people are getting nowadays. But one thing that is not coming to a lot of people that I meet is money, and there are several people who come to me who tell me that they don't have money, they have money problems, or maybe I'm meeting those kind of people who have money problems. Even I have money problems. I had money problems. Right now, I don't have that much money problem, but there was a time when I was suffering from a lot of money problems, and at that time I had no idea how to earn money. I was never a money conscious person, and I was never into money, and I used to think of money as a bad thing, which is a very general concept and a very general mentality that 99% of middle class people suffer from. That's why they have so much rags to riches story, and there are so many stories about rich people getting rich. Rich people get rich because they are so much in love with money. They want to earn money, and they cannot alter their lifestyle just because of lack of money. So they want to earn more money, and that's why they are more action oriented. And again, they are very much surrounded by people who are money conscious and who are every day getting out and fighting for getting money in their life. That's why rich people get rich very easy. There's a book by Robert T. Kiyosaki called Rich Dad Poor Dad, in which you will understand the difference between the mentalities of two people. In that book, Robert T. Kiyosaki tells that his father was a teacher, and his one of his friends was a rich guy, and his father was not a very educated guy, but he was a very rich guy, and he has this option to choose which one of them he wanted to see as his mentor, and he chose his friend's father as his mentor because he was more money conscious, and Robert Kiyosaki's dream was to get more money in his life. Robert Kiyosaki is one of those guys who, I guess, in my opinion, because I haven't heard anywhere else this concept before, that he introduced the concept of getting retired before you turn 40. I don't want to get retired. I don't want to use that term because I don't believe in retiring. I believe more in the concept of working all my life, just like Warren Buffett or Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or anyone else. I believe that retirement is a concept introduced by people who employs you, and they just feel that you are not good anymore for the company, and they just want new people in. So retirement is not the concept that I was looking for, but I enjoy doing what I do, and that's what I want to do. And I want to figure out what I want to do enjoying and want to earn money from it. Like, I like to read books, I like to write, I like to shoot films. So maybe that is one thing that I'm looking for doing, and this is one thing that I enjoy, and I just have to figure it out that how I can earn money through it. When I came to Mumbai initially in my struggle days, I was doing films and I was saying no to the money all the time. I was like one of those guys who would be more happy doing things just for the heck of it than for doing it for money. I thought like if I'm doing something for money, then that means I'm greedy, and I don't care about the art, I don't care about the creativity, I don't care about the talent. So if you so I kept these two things apart. For me, if you are a creative person, you cannot be a money conscious person. But the thing is, if you are a money conscious person, your creativity enhances, because there are lots of things that gets better if you have money. Like, if you don't have a guitar, how will you play a guitar? Your creativity hampers there because you don't have a guitar, but you want to play a guitar. That's the biggest problem. Like, if I want to shoot a film and if I don't have money to hire a good camera, how will I shoot a good film? I can compromise a lot by saying that I can shoot it on my mobile, I can shoot it on my digital camera, I can shoot it on all any other camera, but I won't get the same depth, I won't get the same cinematic feel, I won't get the same things. So I need a proper audio setup, I want a proper camera setup, and I want everything proper in the way, and that will cost me money. So having money is a benefit rather than anything else, and having money is in no way a bad thing. It's not an evil thing. One of the books that I've been reading recently was a book called "You Are a Badass at Making Money." So this is a female author who has written about it, and I jumped into this book because her last book that I read was "You Are a Badass," which was recommended by Mark Manson, whose earlier books I was reading. That was The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and that book was awesome, and I learned a lot from that book. And I read his articles, I listened to his podcasts, and he in his book he recommends this book called "You Are a Badass" by this woman. I forgot the name of the author. I will tell you sometime later. But you have to understand that to earn the money, you have to understand what is the problem with you. Why are you not earning money? And one of the basic reasons that I have figured out about most of the people that why don't they earn money is because they're not in love with the money. They think of money as something that will bring a lot of troubles with them, that will bring a lot of problems with them, that they have to do a lot of wrong things to get the money. But that's not the case actually. One of the concepts around the money is being that you have to think about money. You have to, if you have seen Secret, you will understand the law of attraction, like whatever you think happens. But people don't understand law of attraction as they should. I was watching this online trial of Jodi Arias, and I'm obsessed with that trial. And there are six hours of recording of one day, and this defendant who has actually killed a person used to believe in the law of attraction, and you see she used to write in her diaries about law of attraction and how she should not think about negative things, and how she should only concentrate on positive things, and how she should force herself to think about positive things, and it will start to happen. But that didn't save her from going to the jail, because she didn't want to go to jail, and she did kill a person, and she faced the repercussions. But the thing is, if she really believed in law of attraction, she wouldn't have killed that person. The thing is, people don't understand this concept. This concept is not just a rule book that you have to follow or force yourself into it. It's something that should come directly from the subconscious mind. It is not something that if you think positive, the positive things will happen. No, negative things will happen as well. The thing is, if you think about positive things, you will choose to ignore the negative things and won't waste the time and energy of your mind into thinking about it. Like if you read newspapers, you will hear about rapes, killings, and political scams and all these kind of things. If you do not know about these things, you won't care about them. If you go on Facebook and if you find your friend is getting married somewhere, and one of your friend is earning a lot of money and he's traveling to Europe and Moscow and Russia and American countries, and you will feel bad about it because you are not doing any of these things, and your life may be cool, but comparing it to other people won't make it so. So the problem is that extra knowledge, that extra negative knowledge that you're getting about life, and that is what is making you frustrated, and that's where you're concentrating most of the energy of your mind, and that's how you're not earning the money. So thinking positive is cutting yourself from all the negative news that is happening in the world. Just because you're thinking positive, the murders won't stop happen. Just because you're thinking positive, the rapes won't stop happening. Negative things will happen anyways, but you have to think about the positive circumstances. You have to think about the positive things, and how it works is, I will tell you. When you write a goal, when you write something that you want to happen, your mind automatically starts thinking about the ways in which that particular thing can happen. Like if you think about a negative thought of someone in your family dying, then you will see all the reasons in which he could die, because you see that he may be smoking cigarettes, so he might get into cancer and he might die, and someday it will happen, and you will feel bad about it. But if you think the same thoughts in a positive manner, that your same relative is getting a promotion, then you will see all the reasons why he's getting the promotion, because he's hardworking, maybe because he's in a good job, maybe because he's a good employee, maybe he's graduated from a good university, or whatever the reasons are. So our mind only concentrates on the thing that we give it to them, and our mind is totally in our control, and we can control the thoughts whenever we can. So if you think, if you write a goal, and you write it that you want it to happen, you start seeing the ways in which it could happen. That's the whole deal with it. And one of the most important things about the whole this thing is that you have to think about as few things as possible. Like when I first entered into it, one of the authors of one of these positive approaching books and goal writing books told me to write all the things that I wanted to do. And I just couldn't understand why he wanted me to write all the things that I want to do, because there might be only 4 or 5 things that I really wanted to do in my life that may make a difference to me, and maybe I'm interested into it. But I anyways follow his advice, and he asked me to write more than 100 things that I really want to do in my life. And I started making chart, and I stopped at 50, because I realized that I'm not that ambitious enough. I don't want that many things in my life. And those things are maybe not just abstract goals that I want to become a prime minister of a country, or I want to become a doctor, I want to become a dentist, or I want to become a NASA astronaut. Those were the things, like small things, that I wanted to buy a MacBook Pro, I wanted to buy an iMac, I wanted to buy an iPhone, I wanted to buy a motorcycle, I wanted to go to Thailand and visit that country. So these can be small things that I've written it down. It can be something that I wanted to buy right now, like a small tripod for 100 rupees from Amazon. Maybe I wanted to buy that, but I've been procrastinating on it for a long time. It's an easy buy, I can buy it anytime and start doing things for me. But I stalled on it. I kept on stalling it until I put that on paper. How would I know what I want, what I really want in my life? So there are lots of confusion in my life which I had to sort out, and because of this over knowledge and because of this redundancy of knowledge in this world, sometimes we feel that we want to do a lot of things. Like Just because you get a lot of knowledge from a lot of sources, you feel like you have become a master of it. Like if you like there's a website called lynda.com. Lynda.com, you read a lot of tutorials. So if you get through a tutorial of After Effects, you might think that you have become a VFX engineer. If you go through a tutorial of a PHP or a Python or Adobe Premiere Pro, you might think of yourself as a programmer, or you might think of yourself as an editor. But that doesn't necessarily make you so, because you just understand the software. You don't understand actually the theory of editing. And I have known a lot of people who know DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve is a color grading software, and they know the software, but they don't understand the color theory. So they just and that is what these software industries are doing. They are trying to make these softwares easy for the people who don't know anything about these theories. So they are putting uh, pre-scripted, pre-coded formats into it, which are easy to put, and which will give them a feeling that they have achieved what they wanted to achieve. Like if you wanted to make a website, you don't have to do much. You can go to WordPress, your website is already there. You just have to make few changes to it. If you want to edit something, it becomes very easy now. It has become like a cut, copy, paste, but you can never understand the nuances of editing unless you understand it, which footage you have to place where, and how it affects the mentality and psychology of the person who is watching it. So the thing is, a lot of things that we learn, we feel that we can do it better. But the thing is, you have to devote a certain amount of time to understand it and become better at it. And uh, that's where everything matters. Because in terms of money, you get money when you provide service to others. There's limited amount of money in this world, and it keeps on rotating. But there's enough for everyone. So if you provide the best services to someone, why won't he give you the money? So the thing is, you become master of someone, and for that I would recommend you read this book by Robert Greene called The Mastery, which is an awesome book, and I must recommend you that you read this book. So while reading The Mastery, you will understand that if you are a master of something, you will get anything that you want. And for becoming master of something, you have to devote 10,000 hours in your life towards that particular thing. So, if you think about this guy called Bill Gates, Bill Gates was a rich guy, anyways. His father was a rich guy, he was a millionaire, he was a lawyer or something, and he was already a rich guy. So, Bill Gates was already money conscious, and he had a computer when no one could actually think of buying a computer, because computer hasn't become a PC culture till that time. So he was working on that thing previously, way before anyone else has started, and by the time he turned 20, he has already mastered the subject. Like now, not lots of people think that Shah Rukh Khan has become a very good actor because he didn't do anything, he just have a pure luck and something like that. But it's not so. Shah Rukh Khan has been acting since he was a child, and his mother used to take him to the theaters, and he used to act. And his father was once running a canteen in SD. Maybe subconsciously, maybe consciously, he was doing all those things, which was leading him to become a big actor, which other people don't see. Most of the people start acting out doing theater when they go into the college, and after 18, and by the time they come out, they are like 30 years old, and but still they haven't completed their 10,000 hours. Shah Rukh might have completed 10,000 hours without knowing it. And by the time he reached to the age of 23 or 24, he was already very good at it. And when he entered into it, he got what he wanted, because he was providing the good services, he was providing the entertainment, he was providing what the audience wanted, and he got the money for it. So the difference is, uh, you become master of something, and you have to choose and narrow down all the goals, and narrow down all the things that you want to do. So I was telling you about these 100 things that I wrote, and out of those 100 things, the author then asked me to cut down all the things that I really don't want to do and were just in top of my mind. So I started cutting them down, and they were just left down to like 10 or 12 things. So those were the things that I really wanted and really wanted to do. So he asked me to concentrate on those kind of things. I did that, and the results were good to me because I started researching on them. Sometimes you feel that you might be interested in something, and later you realize that you're not that interested in that thing. That thing maybe you got interested because you met a rich guy who was doing it. Like Lakshmi Mittal started doing steel business, doesn't mean that you have the passion for steel. So you have to find your own field, and trust me, any field that you choose, you can become billionaire or millionaire into that field. You just have to devote certain amount of time into that. Now there's also comes a factor of environment and luck into it. Of course, environment matters a lot. If I was very much conscious about filmmaking career right from the beginning of my career, like from the beginning of my birth, like if there was someone in my family who was into filmmaking, who was into cameras, and who would teach me about cameras, I would have been much better when the time I came out of college, because I knew about the camera. But after I came to Mumbai, I had no idea about the camera. I had no about the filmmaking, so I had to struggle to understand it. I had to struggle to know all these things. So it took time, and it's still taking time. I can cut that time by working hard, but sometimes it's just too hard to understand all these things in such a small amount of time, because time is a very big factor in understanding all these things. I cannot compete with a man who has 20 years of experience in filmmaking or any other career with just petty amount of time. So the thing is, whatever you're working on, narrow down your focus onto few things. Stop doing the Facebook, stop doing the Twitter, stop doing the Instagram thing, because it doesn't give you anything back. If you are not taking Twitter, Instagram and Facebook as something that you can earn money from, if you're not a social network freak, then it's not it is giving you, there's a research that I was reading about, and it says that Facebook, Twitter, Instagram actually gives you, it actually generates some kind of acid, some kinds of liquid into your, some testosterone into your body, dopamine, or I don't know, whatever it is. It is adrenaline rush, maybe there's something like that. So it gives you a momentary rush of that adrenaline. It gives you a happiness for a brief instant of time, but it doesn't sustain long. It won't sustain long. So you get happy for a moment, but according to me, people are more sad because of social networking, because they keep comparing their life to others. They feel obligated to put the photos of their the parties of the or their life into it, and they seek approval of other people's, which according to me is wrong, because you are not very happy if you're seeking approval of others, and your life has came down to the likes of other people. If you do not get more than 50 likes on your post, then you feel like people don't like me anymore, and you start unfriending people, and then you feel regret about it, and then you again send them friend requests, and then people understand what kind of shit you are doing. Earning money is one of the most important things in life, and first of all, you don't have to think about money as bad, and second, start reading books about money consciousness, and third, law of attraction is a good thing, and I would recommend the books called Think and Grow Rich and Science of Getting Rich by Walter Wallace, that you must read, and you have to understand it. And third, you have to provide services to the world which people like to have, and that's where all the money is. Bill Gates provided Windows, that's why he's getting all the money. Steve Jobs invented iPhone, not that he invented, but he marketed the iPhone, and that's where he's getting the money. He's providing something to the world, and that's where he's getting it back. Reliance Jio provided the services to the world, and the world is paying him back. He introduced Reliance Jio services, and the world is buying it. And similarly, every businessman is doing something for the world, and the world is paying him back. Like a government officer, he does something for the government, and the government gives him money. So you have to think of money in terms of trading things. So if you're not giving to the world anything, you won't get any money for free. So you have to think of a way in which you can devise something, or invent something, or discover something, and present the same thing in the some another manner, that people start to buy it. So it basically comes down to one thing: you give the world what they want, and they will give you what you want. So money is one of the important things, and how that you will invent or discover those things is through knowledge, and that knowledge should be in a concentrated amount. You cannot just keep on reading all the books in the world, and you cannot keep on reading all the magazines and articles in this world and think that you will get knowledgeable. No, you might get knowledgeable, but your knowledge will be very scattered. You will become a very good news anchor, but you might not. You can argue very well with people, but you will not succeed in getting all the money. If you are interested in politics, I think you should read about politics and start making your video blogs about politics, like Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is one of the greatest people that I have heard, who can destroy anyone on political things, and he's conservative, he's righteous, and you cannot defeat him in arguments. So the thing is, you become master of your craft, and the money will start coming to you. There might be problems, and I'm not discussing everything in detail what I've read in this book. I'm just clearing up my mind, also telling you what you can do to, and what are the resources which I'm reading these days. And if you have any problem regarding these things, I'm thinking of conducting a workshop and seminars, and if you want to be a part of it, just let me know, and we can get together and think about something. It won't be a workshop or seminar where I will just give the lecture and you will just listen to it, but it will definitely change your mind, because you will come together to discuss with me what are the plans that I have done, and what are the things that have influenced me, and how I started earning money because of law of attraction. And trust me, after reading all these books, my income has nearly doubled. I never earned that much money earlier before reading these books, and that defining moment came when I went through a series of failures, which I will discuss sometime later. But that's it for today. Thank you.